Welcome back, kings and queens, and welcome if you're new here. My name is Hope King, and I'm the designer behind King's Designs MD. Today, I'm working on mug sublimation. I have been working on digital designs, launched my new website, still selling on Etsy, but I came up with a mug design, and so I'm about to put this on a mug. So I have a 15-ounce Cricut mug here. This is one of my favorites to sublimate on. This is a great size. I'm a coffee drinker, and this is a great size for coffee and just enjoying teas and things like that. They sublimate really well. I use Hiippo paper and Hiippo ink. So you'll see this is printed on Hiippo paper and Hiippo ink, and I have an Epson, I think it's a 2800 sublimation printer. So we're about to get started. I did not mention it, but I do have a Cricut Mugpress. So this is a Cricut mug, and I use my Cricut Mugpress. The first thing I'm going to do is wrap my mug. So if you have a lint roller, make sure you lint roll all of this so you don't get any blue or any lines showing up on your mug. So I'm going to have to grab a lint roller and go over this and come back. Alright, so I got my little handy dandy Dollar Tree lint roller, and I'm just going to go over this, try to pick up any, little fuzz or things that might get stuck to it along the way. And then I'm going to wrap my mug. So I have my sublimation wrap and my tape. I also have a pair of scissors. You can get a tape dispenser for this. I haven't done that. I really honestly don't use it as often as I used to, but I'm just going to wrap this around as you saw, just putting it around, trying to make sure it's as even as possible. This is set to be 9 inches around by 4.25 in height, so that gives you an idea. Now I'm just going to roll this off, and you want this to be as tight as possible. So no matter how you tape it, how you get started, do what's comfortable for you. A lot of times I used to cut the pieces ahead of time so that it was ready for me. But you just want to make sure you pull it as tight as possible. And for this mug in particular, I want the design to be as high up at the top as I can get it. So I'm going to sneak off a few pieces. You can't see me, but I'm taping it to the edge of my desk and just cutting it so I can have some pieces ready to go. I'm going to move this around so I can get it into place like I want it. And you can kind of see through a little bit on the design. If I get close, you can kind of see through a little bit so you can see where the design's going to be. Now I'm ripping it. Alright, so I took a pause to the call so I could unfold that tape. The tape started folding back against itself. So I'm just going to tape around. I'm going to go inside the mug, and I'm just going to use as much tape as I need to get this baby going. Again, this is a 15-ounce Cricut sublimation mug. Hiippo ink, Hiippo paper, Epson printer, and my design. Just want to make sure I get all the gaps out of there. You can pull your tape as tight as you need to. Make sure you pull that as tight as you need to. When you get it on that printer, when you get it on the mug press, it's going to compress it, but you don't want any air to get down in there. So if you think this is going to be an issue, tape all the way around, just so you don't have to worry about it. And of course, the issue with not having a tape dispenser is trying to find where your tape starts, just like wrapping Christmas presents. So I'm not worried about being neat right now. What I am trying to accomplish is making sure this is tight so no air gets down in here. You can do the same thing around the bottom, and if you're worried, you can take top to bottom, you can take round and round, you can take whatever makes you feel comfortable to just make sure there's no air getting in there, because if air gets in there, it's going to create a gap and it's going to mess up your design. So again, people wrap all kinds of these just to make sure there's no air getting into their mugs. Alright, now I got my mug all taped up and looking crazy. But hopefully everything's going to stay in place and not leave any gaps for me. Now I'm going to take it to my mug press. Now I'm headed way on this side of the room to my mug press. My Cricut's already on. So I'm just going to pop it in my mug press. It's already beeped. I lifted up the handle. I'm putting it in here. And what I like about the 15 ounce on the mug press is that it it already fits like kind of tight in there. So it's just going to go. It's going to run through all of the dots at the top, and it'll stop. So I'm going to try to bring you closer so you can see the dots heating up at the top. This lets you know when it gets done and it's in the mug press cooking. So it takes about 5 minutes. One of the things I will tell you that I didn't know when I started, make sure you open a window. This thing smells. Sublimation smells. I did not know that. Sublimation smells. I never use gloves, but you should use gloves. This is like taking something out of an oven, whether you use gloves or oven mitt, whatever. Use something to protect your hands because this thing can get hot. What I often do is I sit things on my Cricut mat that I use for my heat press machine. I set things on that because some things are like super hot and you don't just want to sit on the surface or counter or ruin your tables or anything like that. So those are some of the things just to look out for when you're doing sublimation. Other than that, I love sublimation. Just really haven't had a need to do it recently, so getting back in the swing of things. So I'm going to tell you guys about the design. This thing's getting ready to beat. I'm going to tell you about the design. I made the design, sent it to my best friend like I always do, send it to certain people I know. I'm like, hey, check this out. What do you think? And she loved it, and she said a couple of things. Hey, can you do this? So I tried it, and I said, I want to make this for a mug because my original design was for a tumbler. So I designed it in mug size. So this is me trying it out before it hits the website. So I hope you guys like it. Alright, this thing is going to beep soon. And I do have other color options. I've done blue and gold and maroon and gray, which is my alma mater colors. You can do some custom colors if requested. But I'm really excited about this one. As soon as I hit pause, it'll beep. So I'm trying to wait. Okay, this thing beeped, so I'm gonna pop it out. If you can see, just lifting up the handle, sliding it straight out, turn it off. If you can see, this thing is smoking, and so I'm gonna sit it down and let this thing cool down. Now I often just run a fan or something so it can cool in the background, but I'm excited to see what that's gonna look like. Okay, so it beeped. I took it out. I set it on my Cricut mat and I'm letting it cool down before I take this off. Now, you know these things are really hot. Once you pull this off, it to me is like one and done. You don't want to be pulling it and letting it stick back and pulling it and letting it stick back. You want to try to get it off at one time to prevent ghosting and things like that. All right, right now I can't find my favorite tool, which is my Cricut tool, my weeding tool, because that works great with trying to get this off. So I just have some curved scissors. This part of the mug should not be too hot. It's still carrying some heat, but it's not as hot as the part that actually was touched by the heating plates. You can still feel the heat from the mug. So I'm going to go around and just snip into the tape. Like I said, I like to use another tool because it just works better for me. But this allows me to get up under this tape and separate it. So that's what I'm trying to do. If you can see, I just separated it there. And I'm just going around the handle because there's some tape stuck in here. And then I'm going to cut down this tape here. I'm trying to turn it so you guys can see as much as possible. I'm just snipping this tape loose so that when I go to do my pull, again, hopefully it's one and done and I won't have any ghosting. Honestly, I haven't had a whole lot of issue with ghosting. But I know some people have, so I try to be as preventative as possible. And I think taping it to the gods and trying to do one and done are some of the main reasons why I've had success. All right, let's see. Ooh, yeah, again, trying to be quick. Trying to be quick. Clearly, I pulled the tape off better on one side than the other. But there it is. So I know this little area here, I scratched that when I was trying to, when the tape folded back on itself. So I knew that was going to happen when it came out. I could have just scrapped it, got a new piece and started over. But that's what we're working with, y'all. I think it's super cute. And I think my friend's going to love it. So there you go. My new design, 15-ounce mug. I hope you all love it and have a great day.